Boom. Another headline, another Trump attack. This time, his target is not Biden, not the Democrats. It's London's own mayor, Sadiq Khan. Trump didn't hold back. In a recent speech, he called Khan a terrible mayor and praised Nigel Farage, saying, "I like Nigel, not that guy running London into the ground." And now, across the Atlantic, things are heating up, because UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer isn't staying silent. He just backed Khan with 5 simple words: "Sadiq is my friend." So why is Trump attacking a British mayor again? Why bring up Farage now? And what does this say about the battle lines being drawn between the right and the left, on both sides of the ocean? Let's break it all down. Donald Trump has always had strong opinions. But when it comes to Sadiq Khan, he's made his dislike crystal clear, again and again. Their feud goes back years. It started when Khan criticised Trump's travel ban on Muslim-majority countries. Trump hit back hard, calling Khan incompetent and a disaster for London. And now in 2025, that fire hasn't cooled off. During a recent event in the US, Trump was asked about world leaders and city officials. Instead of speaking like a diplomat, Trump turned it into a personal attack. He slammed Khan, saying he's been a disaster for the people of London. Then, almost with a smile, he added, "I like Nigel Farage, not that mayor." That one sentence sparked a storm, because Trump didn't just throw shade, he made a clear political statement. By bringing up Nigel Farage, he reminded everyone of the old alliance they built during the Brexit days. Farage was the loud voice behind Britain leaving the EU. Trump was his biggest cheerleader in America. They both rode the same wave: populism, nationalism, and anti-establishment anger. So when Trump praises Farage, he's really sending a message. I still believe in that version of politics. And when he slams Sadiq Khan, he's not just insulting a man, he's attacking the kind of progressive, multicultural leadership that Khan represents. Trump also mentioned London itself, claiming it had become unsafe, dirty, and out of control. He said, "It used to be one of the great cities in the world. Now, I wouldn't even visit." These comments echo past statements he's made, especially after terror attacks in London, when he blamed Khan personally. Even though many saw those moments as times for unity, Trump went on the offensive. But here's the truth: Trump isn't speaking to the people of London. He's speaking to his base, American voters, who like strong talk and simple answers. By painting London as a city that's failing under a Liberal mayor, he gets to feed a familiar narrative that left-wing leaders can't keep cities safe, that they care more about being woke than being tough. And for Trump, that message works. It worked in 2016. It might work again in 2024. But there's more to this than just an insult. Trump's praise for Nigel Farage comes at a very specific time. Farage has been making noise again in the UK media. Some even say he might return to frontline politics. So Trump's comment could also be a nudge, a way of boosting Farage's image. Almost like he's saying, "Hey UK, remember this guy? Maybe you should give him another shot." And let's not forget, this isn't just about two men arguing. It's about two visions for the world. On one side, Sadiq Khan, a Muslim mayor of a major Western city, proud of London's diversity, pushing green energy and social programmes. On the other, Trump, who wants borders closed, cities policed hard, and a return to traditional values. When he attacks Khan, he's not just being personal, he's being political. The timing is no accident. The US election is around the corner. Trump is already campaigning. And attacking foreign leaders, especially ones who stand for liberal ideals, is a classic Trump move. It makes him look bold, it creates headlines, and most importantly, it fires up his base. But while Trump's words might win him cheers in America, over in the UK, they've caused quite a stir. And that's where Prime Minister Keir Starmer comes in. Sadiq Khan is no stranger to Donald Trump's insults. In fact, you could say their rivalry has become a modern political soap opera, loud, personal, and very public. But this time, after Trump's latest jab, many expected Khan to strike back. So far, though, the Mayor of London has remained calm, at least in public. There hasn't been a fiery Twitter reply or a press conference aimed at Trump. Not yet. And that's surprising, because in the past, Khan didn't hold back. Let's rewind a bit. Their feud began in 2016, right after Khan became the first Muslim mayor of a major Western capital. Just days after taking office, he criticised Trump's idea of a Muslim travel ban, calling it ignorant and dangerous. That triggered a chain reaction. Trump hit back, saying Khan had done a terrible job with London's safety. He even used Khan's name during interviews about terrorism, as if Khan was to blame for everything wrong with the city. Things got even worse in 2017. After a terror attack in London, Khan called for calm. But Trump twisted Khan's words and posted a tweet, claiming the mayor was downplaying the attack. It was a low blow. Khan was trying to keep the city steady, but Trump made it sound like he didn't care. From there, the fight escalated. Khan called Trump's views fascist. Trump called Khan a stone-cold loser. During Trump's official visit to the UK in 2019, the tension hit a peak. Before he even landed, Trump tweeted that Khan was a terrible mayor and very dumb. Khan fired back, saying Trump was behaving like a child and shouldn't be welcomed with open arms. They didn't meet. They didn't shake hands. They didn't even pretend to be polite. And now, in 2025, Trump is doing it again. But this time, Khan's silence is louder than words. Why? Maybe because he knows the game. Maybe because every time he replies, Trump gets more attention. Maybe because Khan is focused on local issues, crime rates, housing, transport, and doesn't want to get pulled into a foreign shouting match. Or maybe, just maybe, he's letting Keir Starmer do the talking for him. Because in a surprising move, the UK Prime Minister stepped in and said, "Sadiq is my friend." A simple sentence, but a strong one. We'll get to that in the next section. Still, even without an official response from Khan, many Londoners and public figures have spoken up. Social media lit up with people defending Khan and criticising Trump's outdated view of the city. Some reminded Trump that London has its problems, but it's also one of the world's most visited and admired cities. Others pointed out that Trump doesn't live in London, doesn't govern it, and doesn't understand its people. Khan's supporters say he represents a modern, global city, a city of different languages, faiths, and backgrounds. And that's exactly why Trump keeps attacking him. Because Khan stands for everything Trump-style politics tries to tear down. To be fair, not everyone agrees with Khan's leadership. Some Londoners have raised concerns over rising crime, housing prices, and public transport costs. And Trump plays into those concerns. He paints a dark picture of London, lawless, unsafe, and broken under a Liberal mayor. But the data doesn't fully back that up. Yes, London has challenges, but so do New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. Cities Trump rarely criticises in the same way, unless they're run by Democrats. So this isn't just about facts, it's about image. Trump needs enemies. And for years, Sadiq Khan has been an easy target. But here's what makes this different now. Trump is no longer just a loud voice on social media. He's running for president again. And this attack, out of the blue, across the ocean, feels like the start of another campaign strategy. Blame big cities, blame Liberal leaders, blame the other side. And in that strategy, Sadiq Khan is the perfect villain. A Muslim, a Liberal, a proud critic of Trump. All of that makes him useful for the kind of narrative Trump likes to build. I'm strong, they're weak. I'm right, they're dangerous. But if Trump's words were meant to rattle Khan, they didn't work. At least not publicly. Khan's response this time? Silence. And that silence might just speak louder than anything Trump has tweeted. Because while Trump tries to pull him into the spotlight again, Khan is staying focused on his city and letting others speak in his defence. And that brings us to the man who stepped up next, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Donald Trump might have expected Sadiq Khan to fight back, but instead, someone else stepped forward. Someone with a much bigger voice in the UK right now, Prime Minister Keir Starmer. At a recent press event, a reporter brought up Trump's comment. They asked Starmer what he thought of Trump's criticism of Sadiq Khan. Starmer didn't blink. He simply replied, "Sadiq is my friend." That one line said everything. No speeches, no shouting. Just a quiet but powerful show of support. It might seem like a small thing, but in today's world, where words are carefully measured and headlines spread fast, that sentence was a clear message. Starmer wasn't just defending Khan as a person. He was standing up for his party, his values, and his city. Let's break down what this means and why it matters. First, understand the relationship between Starmer and Khan. They're both top figures in the Labour Party. Khan is the Mayor of London, one of the most important political jobs in the UK outside of Parliament. Starmer is the country's leader, newly elected after years of Conservative rule. Their success is linked. If Khan fails, it reflects badly on Labour. If Khan succeeds, it's proof that Labour can govern well at both the local and national level. So when Trump attacks Khan, it's not just personal, it's political. And Starmer knows that. That's why he jumped in with a simple, sharp line of loyalty. But Starmer's response also tells us something about his leadership style. Unlike Trump, who thrives on chaos, insults, and drama, Starmer prefers calm, measured replies. He didn't call Trump names, he didn't escalate the fight, he simply reminded people where he stands. And it's not the first time Starmer has chosen this approach. Since becoming Labour leader, he's worked hard to present himself as serious, stable, and grown up, the opposite of the noisy politics we've seen in recent years. But make no mistake, this wasn't just about friendship, it was a strategic political move. Why? Because defending Khan helps Labour stay united. It reminds party members that they're on the same team, even if they don't always agree on every issue. It also sends a message to voters, especially in London, that Labour leaders support each other. After all, London has been a stronghold for Labour in recent elections. If Starmer wants to hold on to power, he needs Khan's base on his side. At the same time, Starmer is trying to avoid falling into Trump's trap. Trump wants headlines. He wants chaos. He wants politicians to react emotionally. But Starmer refused to play that game. By staying calm, he kept the focus on leadership, not drama. And there's another layer here: foreign politics. Starmer knows that Trump could be president of the United States again very soon. He can't afford to burn bridges, even if he doesn't like what Trump says. So instead of launching a full attack, Starmer chose to speak through loyalty, not confrontation. Still, the message was clear: take your fight elsewhere. We're not interested. It also gave the public a chance to compare. On one side, Trump loud, insulting, always on the attack. On the other, Starmer, calm, focused, and quietly defending his allies. For many UK voters, that contrast might matter. Especially after years of political drama, many people are looking for stability and unity. By backing Khan in such a composed way, Starmer showed that his government won't be easily pushed around, by Trump or by anyone else. But that doesn't mean this story is over. Because while Starmer was showing support, Trump was also lifting up another name, someone who hasn't held power in a while but might want it back: Nigel Farage. And when Trump says, "I like Nigel," he's not just talking about friendship, he's talking about a political comeback. When Trump said, "I like Nigel Farage," he wasn't just being friendly, he was sending a signal. And if you've followed politics over the past decade, you know, when Trump and Farage are in sync, it usually means something big is coming. So why did Trump bring up Farage during a rant about Sadiq Khan? Simple. He sees Farage as his kind of politician, loud, bold, anti-establishment, and unafraid to cause waves. Farage, like Trump, made his name by dividing the room. He either fired people up or made them furious. But he always made headlines. Let's rewind for a moment. Farage was the face of Brexit. He led the charge for the UK to leave the European Union. He used fiery speeches, radio shows, and viral sound bites to get his message across. And when the Brexit vote succeeded, Trump was quick to congratulate him. In fact, back in 2016, Trump even suggested that Farage should be Britain's ambassador to the US. It was half a joke, half a message. This is my guy in the UK. Now, nearly a decade later, Farage isn't holding public office. But that doesn't mean he's quiet. He's been making regular appearances on TV, especially on GB News, where he still pushes the same themes: immigration, national pride, anti-globalism. And lately, there's been growing talk that Farage might be preparing for a comeback. He recently hinted at taking on a bigger role within Reform UK, a party that stands even further right than the Conservatives. Some say he's waiting for the right moment, and Trump's shout-out might have just opened the door. Because when Trump says, "I like Nigel," he's not just flattering a friend. He's giving Farage legitimacy again, reminding British voters that Farage still matters on the global stage. But this raises a serious question. Is Farage planning to return to politics? And if he does, what kind of impact could he have? Let's look at the facts. Farage remains popular with a certain group of voters, especially older, rural, working-class voters, who feel left behind by Labour and betrayed by the Conservatives. He speaks their language. He's not polished. He doesn't hide his opinions. And in an age where authenticity often beats experience, that gives him power. If Farage returns with full force, he could split the right-wing vote in the UK, taking support away from the Conservatives, just like he did during past elections. That would help Labour stay in power. But if Farage gains enough ground, he could start shaping the debate again, especially on issues like immigration, policing, and national identity. And now with Trump putting his name back in the spotlight, Farage gets something even more valuable: attention. Trump knows how to shine a spotlight, and when he shines it on Farage, he gives him credibility, not just in the UK, but globally. For Farage's base, that means everything. It tells them, our guy still matters. Of course, not everyone in Britain is thrilled about this. Many see Farage as a symbol of division. They blame him for pushing fake promises during Brexit, for fueling nationalism, and for making immigration a political punching bag. But Farage doesn't care. In fact, that anger is what he thrives on. Just like Trump, he feeds off conflict. So now we're left with a three-sided story. Trump, stirring global culture wars and preparing for a US comeback. Sadiq Khan, staying focused on his city, refusing to get pulled into the mud. Keir Starmer, defending his mayor without giving Trump more oxygen. And Farage, the wildcard, quietly watching, possibly waiting to strike. So what does all this tell us? It tells us that politics is no longer just local. One comment from Trump shakes up headlines in London. One moment of silence from Khan becomes a strategy. One word of support from Starmer sets the tone. And one name drop, I like Nigel, might be the start of something new. Because in today's world, power isn't just about who holds office. It's about who can grab attention, shape the story, and make the loudest noise. And right now, Trump's voice is loud. Farage is listening. And the next move, that's still anyone's guess.